and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land to the newest session of, well, actually the very first session of Daddy Issues. Now, before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy this content. If you're interested in following us along more closely, hit the notification button. Get notifications every time we go live. We do run games like 6 days a week, so, you'll get plenty of things and everything. So it can be a little annoying. If you want to support us outside of that, though, you can go ahead and join us as a member here on our YouTube channel, or down in the description below is a link to our Patreon, where you'll be able to join us as well, get into our Discord server, hang out with everybody, and potentially join in on any of our games that we have open slots available for. And aside from all of that, how about we jump into the action? So, everybody, welcome to the brand new campaign. Yes, woo! I see the excitement in all of your faces and eyes. So, a short little introduction. We are playing in Exandria, an expansive world that, if you're a member of D&D who got into it within the past 5 years, you know exactly where we are. This is Critical Role's made famous setting. However, we have expanded upon it over the past 5 years or so, and we have grown a living universe inside. This is just one of many groups that will be residing in Exandria, moving through it, changing and shaping it throughout their current campaign. Now, the setting for all of it is going to be starting in the Menagerie Cove. But that's not where all of you come from. You all come across the open ocean, starting in the Tal'Dorei Republic. Different locations for many of you. You all have been living relatively intriguing lives, interesting lives, working for different companies, going to school and getting your education, or living off the land, being as free as anybody could. And some time ago, for each of you it varies, you received a mysterious letter from somebody who proclaims to be your father. Or at least the man who helped conceive you. Whatever you want to refer to him as, feel free. We don't want to give him too much credit after all. After you received these notifications, some of you were a bit hesitant. Others were intrigued. And some seemed very hard-pressed to go meet this individual at a not very well-known location across the ocean, Helm of. As you all embarked, Shale and Pulsha were on a vessel where they met one another, though they were kept secret down below deck for some reason, at least on their departure. And after a while and sailing, they got off at the Basalt Isles, a set of islands that have a little bit of trade out there, a little bit of civilization, but, you know, they're not really held down by any politics. They mostly do their own pretty free living. Think relative to Hawaii before it just became a vacation spot for whoever could pay the most money. Now, on the other vessel, there were two brothers. Unfortunately, one was not here at that time. And an individual who claimed to have been Marion. Curious. Though not the person currently labeled Marion, for some reason. Who knows why? The two brothers and her all interacted with one another and found out that they had similar letters and circumstance to being sent out here. After conversing about this entire thing and getting a little curious about it, you also were dropped off at the Basalt Isle. While on the docks, all of you seem to have arrived mysteriously at the same time, as if some type of propelling force of nature timed it perfect. Who could imagine? Then, after encountering one another, talking for a little bit about getting picked up later this night by some mysterious vessel, you all sat down and got ready to reveal your letters to one another, realizing that all of you had something similar to one another. Now, the party has seen Shale's letter. Bernie, or Baron, slash Kurt's letter, and Miriam's letter. Though, Polsha seems a little reluctant about sharing hers with anybody other than Shale, who saw it for a brief moment previously. After some of you decided to go fishing for pearls, seeing if for some miraculous reason you were able to actually find one at such a low level inside of an area that makes a lot of their money off of fishing out all of the pearls from the ocean. Luckily for the GM, you did not succeed yet. So, during the guise of night, very late into the evening, the humidity of the jungle-like terrain around you being lifted with at least the respite of the moons above, there was a ferryman that approached on top of a keelboat, a little too short for any of you to see up underneath the wide brim hat and the long flowing trench coat and the gloves. But each of you offered your token to this ferry. You were all brought below deck. And then the door shut. Down there, you all heard the door become locked, and then the scurrying of multiple sets of feet across the vessel as it started taking. Now, some several hours later, all of you lying inside of your hammocks, listening to the sloshing of the ocean back and forth, and the creaking of a lantern, the only source of light that you've been refilling with plenty of oil that's been down here for you this entire time. This is where we will begin our session. So for the time being, Tolsha, Baron, and Shale, you three are the only three together. Baron, you're, or is it Baron or Baron? I'm just gonna call you Bernie. You're muted.
It's Baron.
So Bernie?
Sure.
You told everyone they can call you Bernie. Are you saying the GM can't call you Bernie?
No, he calls himself Baron, but everyone else usually calls him Bernie.
All right, I'm gonna rename you to Bernie just to make my life a little easier. All right, so Bernie, your brother has been perpetually sick. The moment he started feeling better, he ate some strange-looking fruit that he found, and, well, that was clearly a mistake. Luckily, it stopped coming out of the back end and it started coming up the top end for this interaction. So, at least the smell is not as all-encompassing.
You okay there, brother? Right. Well, keep at it, I suppose. You've always been sort of full of... Well, all right.
Lily is also currently vomiting.
Right. Who's not vomiting?
Shale and Polsha.
Right.
And you.
I told you it was a bad idea to eat that fruit.
Fuck you.
I think we all did. But Kurt here has always been sort of, he has to try it in order to know it.
There was so much living mold on that fruit, I swear it grew legs.
Mold?
Did you not see the mold on the outside of the fruit?
I thought that was just like, you know, like a shell of sorts, or I don't even know what the fruit is called. Or, well, anyway, I just hope we don't all have to eat those fruits to survive out here. Do we? No, we don't.
No.
Well, I mean, if Palmaflora is a ruin, we might have to, yeah, go out to get food.
Did you not bring rations?
Well, sure, but rations only last so long. And they're quite boring. you know, it always helps boost morale when you have some more refreshing kind of foods to eat. But I mean, there should be plenty of fish here. Seems like it, at least.
That is true.
You not used to cooking for yourself, huh?
Who are you asking?
You apparently seem to have issue with acquiring food. Is that not what you were getting at?
No. I have no problem with foraging for food if necessary. I just, well, you know, in the order, things usually get served to you without having to think about it.
Definitely sounds like a place called the Order.
Yeah. Well, it's maybe. Did I tell you the? Well, I'm a member of. Well, it's an order called the Iron Oath. We're all servants of the Lawbearer.
Don't think I've heard about them before.
Well, it's not that well known. I suppose it's we do what you'd expect, I suppose.
The Lawbearer, is that like the one that goes around collecting the coin for various city people?
Taxes, you mean?
Yeah. Is he a part of that?
Well, I mean, the Lawbearer isn't. Well, she's. I mean, is the god of civilization, and you can't really have a civilization without working together in some form or another. And taxes is a very helpful way of communally building a society.
I mean, should the society be big enough, but if it's a small enough society, they usually have a communal-based system that just they get what they need.
Right. Well, that's a whole different sort of system, I suppose. But in the grand scale of things, you know, taxes are very much a good thing.
I mean,
Of course,
sounded like a dream job. You just go around and you get to talk to people and get money. That definitely.
well, it's not quite as easy as that. You know, it's well, while the order might sometimes be requested to assist with taking in taxes, that's not our primary sort of mission, if you will. We're more like protectors and defenders of, you know, society and Tal'Dorei and the people.
Like all the people, or
Well,
like
the people of Tal'Dorei.
So you're saying you're just glorified city gods?
No. That's what's oh my, I did once take a rhetoric lesson. I don't quite remember what that's called. A hayman? No. Haymaker? No. A haymaker argument is that? No, it's not. That's not it. Straw man. That's the one.
Right.
So, as you're all having this conversation, you feel the right side of your vessel lift, like get pushed upwards by almost a foot, and a foot-long breach of what looks like a piece of rock gashes through the hull of the ship.
Uh-oh.
I immediately try to like steady myself and
Yeah, same here.
brace.
Shit. What's happening?
Ship
Looks-
rocks back and forth for a moment, but Then it stabilizes, and well, the ferryman doesn't seem to be coming down here, and you're taking on a little bit of water.
Is everything going well up there? Hello?
I'm going to go and try and plug that thing.
You
Is
hear
there
from up top, boom, boom, from a boot. Do any of you understand thieves' cant? No? Alrighty then.
I'm
So, Bernie,
proficient
you're
in
going over
water
to try to-
vehicles, if that's
Unfortunately, that doesn't apply.
right.
You're a seaman. You're not a pirate.
Right.
So you're going over to try to fix the hole. Would anyone else like to take the opportunity of expressing some potential capabilities by assisting him?
Sure, I'll give him a hand.
And how would you do that, Polsha?
I wish to guide him.
Really?
I mean, I don't have anything else.
You do. Look directly below guidance.
Oh.
It's his first time playing a spellcaster. That's the only reason I'm trying to help him a little bit.
I'll grab 2 loads so that help go over towards the hole and start mending it.
Alrighty. So, Bernie, as you're trying to, like, stuff cloth into it to at least try to, like, stop the rush of everything, you watch as Polsha goes over, places both hands on either side, and over the course of a minute, the gash closes up and mends back into place.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good. That's very helpful. How do you do that? Can you teach me how to do that?
It depends on providence and what you're actually arcanely able to do. Maybe.
Well, it depends on what I'm able to do. I'm not able to do that, so I guess I can't learn it then. Is that what you're saying, or?
Possibly. Not sure.
Right. Well, anyway, good job. Yeah. I reach up to the ceiling and give it a 2 taps in response to.
All right. No reply.
In that minute, I had attempted to go above deck to see what was going on.
So you go over to the latch door, and it seems locked, and although there's a little leanway for it, it's like something is on top of it.
No.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Not okay.
10. It's kind of hard to, like, squat and get that, like, good leverage. To be, up where it is, you have to go up a few of the stairs, and, like, you're squatted to the point where your knees and legs are no longer, like, horizontal. So it's difficult to really get that leverage to push up against it.
Dorothy, get over here, now!
Dorothy rolls over towards you.
I'm gonna stand on top of her.
For the audience, can you describe what Dorothy is?
Please, and thank you.
Yeah, Dorothy is a pretty sizable, about 2.5 feet tall, about 4 feet long. What most would perceive to be a very giant size armadillo with 2 jutting, like curled tusks coming out of its front, with a very, like, caramel looking shell all around it with a little white underbelly. It's got a few hairs on its face, and yeah, that's kind of what you guys see as Dorothy comes over, and when Shell kind of like steps down, you see like the body dip a little bit, but then the shell kind of comes to rest on the floor.
Right. Alrighty. Then, as you're pushing up against that for a few moments, go ahead and roll me another athletics check.
What's going on over there, Shale?
Help!
Oh, okay. I rush over and what's the problem?
What are you doing? Do you have the key?
Key?
Get
No.
another 2 knocks from up top.
They can't leave us down here. It's not safe.
I mean, what is the door locked?
It won't open. It won't budge.
That's not. Well, let's try and. No, we shouldn't break it. Good sir out there. I mean, ferryman. Might I inquire as to why you have elected to lock the door?
I would like you to roll me a water vehicle check utilizing wisdom. This is you inciting the situation.
Right.
0. While he's inciting, Lily would like to search her bag, her bag of holding, and pull out her thieves' tools, because that's part of an artificer thing.
Alrighty. Now, I will let you know the lock is on the other side of the door, but yeah, you have thieves' tools.
We can reverse.
A
lock it, I
lock?
think.
It's
Maybe?
not like a door, like a modern door. It's like a latch with a padlock on the other side.
Arrow never described a key or a lock to me. I just said.
Yeah.
Okay. I misinterpreted. I thought it was like a door lock, not like a door and then they padlocked it.
No worries. So, Bernie, as you're sitting there, you hear another, like, 2 knocks from up top. It's latched, locked, and is buried under supplies. However, you paid him to get onto the ship. This is like a smuggling operation. Now, why your father prepared a smuggling operation for all of you, you have no idea. But this is usually to get people through lines of militarized security and other choice things. There seems to be a lot of caution placed around your transport over towards Palma Flora.
As soon as she hears the knocks return, hello, help! We are down here.
I go up to Shale and just tap her on the shoulder and just be quiet a little bit. I think I just I just realized something. You know how there are some troubles with Tal'Dorei and the Empire as of late, right?
No.
Okay, well there is.
What are you talking?
Well, I've had some experience with dealing with certain smugglers and pirates from time to time.
Okay, honey, Wada is coming in
okay,
here.
we're being transported discreetly, it seems, and I'm beginning to suspect that those knocks means that we should be quiet.
You see Shale, and she seems to be almost hyperventilating.
Shale, there's no more water coming in. The hole is shut.
There's water there, everywhere. Okay?
Shale, it will be all right.
Well, that's actually a good thing that there's some water here. I mean, if for some reason there's a fire, I mean, we have some water to put it up. Not that there's going to be a fire or anything.
If this water gets any higher, I'm getting through there. And she, like, steps down and picks up Dorothy under her arm.
Lily reaches in her bag of holding and pulls out a, not plastic, what are those, the little bag that you hyperventilate in?
Brown paper bags?
Yeah, paper bags, that's it. And hands it to Shale.
Wait,
With
what
the price?
artificer magic is this?
Wow, with the price on parchment, that's like a 5 gold paper bag.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, 5 gold worth of a paper bag. Sure. Like, where you come from? Sure. Like,
Shell, do you not know how to swim?
I know how to swim. Okay.
Okay, well,
Just not very
sorry,
good at
I
it.
didn't
And
mean
this
like.
is, I've never been on a boat before.
Oh, okay.
They're not supposed to open like this, are they?
No, they're not. But it's taken care
They're
of.
not.
I mean, Tulsa and I fixed it. Mostly Tulsa, though.
It's what happens when a ship hits a rock. It's fine, Shale.
Yes. I guess you could say we hit rock bottom. Sorry. I'll just be over here.
I'm gonna throw one of the moldy fruit at him.
I'll allow it.
I imagine also that the Boo soundtrack was also something that Lily has on her voice box for these such occasions.
That's fine. That was you and Kurt simultaneously.
Yeah.
It was like mid-vibes was like, blah.
Anyways, God, you can never. That's always a flaw with all of your characters. Terrible puns.
Yeah. That's a problem with the player, not the character.
Yeah.
Not just me.
So, as you're all stuck down there for another couple of hours, no more water seems to come into the vessel. And then you feel kind of like a very fast stop. Like the boat was forcibly stopped. Where you all lurch forward aggressively for a moment. Then the scurrying on top of the ship goes for another minute or so. And then you hear the moving of barrels off the top of the latch door and the unlocking of it as the latch door opens.
Finally, hello.
You see
Lily has
the
her
same
crossbow
individual.
at the ready just in case.
Okay. The same individual who escorted you over here gestures outwards for you all.
Just like a rope ladder or a staircase or something like.
It's a staircase to exit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
As you all get on top of the vessel, you see that the keel boat was beached. Only the top half of it, however. And you look forward at... Icebreaker, please mute. Alright, I'll mute you. You look forward at what looks like complete and utter ruins. What society used to linger here is all but gone. The buildings seem crushed and forcibly destroyed. There's bits of coral, rock, and other choice objects all around that look like they were lifted up from the depths of the ocean as you all are looking out at this ruined location. Now, none of you have ever been to Palma Flora before, Ernie included. However, you've never really looked at a ruined town either. You were all beached over at this side over here as you begin walking up.
Bernie steps out. He sort of takes a breath of fresh air and starts like surveying the scene and just, well, this is so horrible. I mean, I've never seen such destruction.
Guess that Boblin was right about how it was destroyed.
what appears to be the source of the damage? Like, are we talking like, you know, houses burned down, just tilted? Like, are they sideways or just completely crushed?
Oh wait, no, you guys were the right thing. Right. So, no. Yeah. So, you'll have to get closer inwards to look at it, but it looks like, at least from your viewpoint, that the water itself, like, flooded over everything and just decimated.
And the guy who let us out, he's the only one that we're seeing on this ship.
That is correct.
Thank you for getting us here, sir.
I'll leave Kurt over here, so he's not here right now. You have the hat tilted down towards you, and your coins individually flicked to each of you.
I suppose thanks are in order, but you should not resort to smuggling and things like that. It's not decent.
Hat tips again.
I'll let you off with a warning this time.
A person has to make a living, Bernie.
Sure, but there are many ways to make a living without breaking the law.
Wait, we were smuggled?
What?
We were smuggled, you're saying?
Yes, we were all smuggled.
Even the righteous folk, the ones that claim to uphold the law, tend to smuggle things or people in and out of devastated areas.
I mean, I've heard of people being smuggled before, just usually it's not of their own free will.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but, well, anyway, I suppose we're all here now, so we don't really have to worry about that, but...
Marion, as you have been settling down to sleep in one of the ruined homes after waiting for several hours, beginning to become worried that maybe your sister didn't make it over here for some reason, you hear multiple voices coming over from the beach.
He heads towards the beach.
I will let you all know that at this time, it is probably 5 or 6 a.m. The sun has not quite begun cresting over the horizon yet. So, Marion, you are blind as a fucking bat right now. Do you wish to take a torch or something with you?
I got better than a torch. Dancing lights.
All of you see a set of globial lights floating as a very large, looming individual seems to be moving towards you all. Marion, would you like to describe what you look like to all of them?
You see coming before you a just over 7 foot tall Goliath man. And he's wearing this... They're kind of like robes, but they're more like functional robes because they don't like it's got the shoulders, but it's kind of like a shirt to him, but it would be a robe for a normal person. And just like it's like can't fit, too small, didn't have any of his size. With a bunch of runic tattoos along his neck and chin. And lights.
Now, as you are approaching, we'll go through the image of everybody, starting with Shale, just so anybody watching can get an idea. Shale, go ahead.
Yeah, Shell is about 6 foot tall. She has very orcish features. She is a Earth Genasi. You can kind of see in her kind of like dark gray skin and cracked skin tone. She's got long black hair, leathers, dark tan browns. She's got a bow strapped to her back, a couple of hand axes at her side, and seems to be carrying quite a bit as well. No shoes on her feet, and as you kind of see, like, not the front of her, there's kind of like these patterns reaching around from the back of her neck, shoulders, waist. And next to her, you get the image of Dorothy, which I described previously.
And Bernie.
Right, well, Bernie is a yellow tiefling who's got a twin brother who's standing further back, who may or may not be retching at this point. They're very similar in almost every way, but Bernie has a more slightly darker coloration to both his skin and his hair, which is of a slightly chestnut colored brown, dark brown. He's more heavily built than his brother. He's quite athletic, and looks to be quite strong. And he's also he carries himself with a kind of confident but uncomfortable demeanor. He looks like he's not that comfortable with too many people around him, and anyway, he carries also a shield and a battle axe hanging from his belt, and wears chainmail armor.
Next, not Shale. Polsha, who I originally showed first time. This is Polsha.
Polsha is a 5'10", at first human-looking individual, but then you notice her eyes are slit and has what looks like scales on the top of her hands, tips of her ears, and towards the back of her neck. She has veil-colored eyes and more of a tan skin tone. She wears a loose-fitting a shirt that frills out more towards the ends of the arms, where you can see leather bracers along, and she looks to be wearing a leather tunic armor piece. And on her belt is a dagger, a whip, and a mace, as well as a shield that is on her back. She has long black hair that is dyed purple halfway down.
And someone that you already recognize, Miriam, but Lily, please describe yourself.
Seeing this hulking figure and recognizing the dancing lights, you see, running up to you in full speed, a silver scaled dragonborn with a fin that goes up her head and down the back of it, and on her, behind her head, what would be described as a ponytail is tied the dragonborn locks that they have, and in what she's wearing is a kind of piecemeal but still effective scale mail armor covering her Lyceum clothing. She seemed very happy to see this Goliath, this hulking figure.
Now, everybody else, as you see this large individual approaching you, the first thought in your mind is, how is a Goliath your dad?
One thing I also forgot to mention that's very important for Lily is very prominent on her throat is 2 scars, one that looks like it's from a cut and one that looks like it's from a burn that covers the majority of it.
So yeah, go ahead and approach them, Miriam. You're right there.
So the Dragonborn's running up to me is what I got from that bird.
Dragonborn, running up.
Yep, running like full speed, dead sprint, no sign of stopping.
Uh-huh. The minute she gets close, bonk, right in the head, top of her head.
Yeah, she holds her hands out for a hug and instead gets bonked into the sand.
Very hard. Well, for her at least.
Hey, that's not very nice. I suppose this must be that Lucy fellow. I whispered
I know
to
my
the others.
mom had a thing for SOLEMN, but that's a bit, well, not what I was expecting.
He just looks down. Lucy, huh?
No, I believe she said it was Lily.
Oh,
Lily.
Lily,
Huh?
that's right.
Well, it's either this Lily or our father, one of the two.
Well, he's a Goliath.
You have something you...
I'm finished.
He just leans down. Is there something you would like to share with the class?
Lily smiles mischievously, but and gives you a pat on the arm with her shock gauntlet, which same like non-combat paladins are 1 shock damage just to give you a little jolt in retaliation for the bonk. And
One damage
then-
she gave you was a
then
lot.
she oh shit, I think it's a wizard. And then she, rather than writes it down, uses a sign language that most of you probably don't know, and says to Marion, "No, I think it's better if you do your introductions."
He just rolls his eyes like, you know, one of these days you're gonna find someone who is more clever than you, right?
True, but until that day comes where I'll continue to be the most clever girl in your life. By the way, not to paint a poor portrait of some of our new companions, but that one, the one with the eyes, is a bit suspect in my opinion. Just she's hiding something, but I'm not sure what.
What eyes? They all have eyes.
Well, you know what, exactly what, it's the letter.
She says she signs eyes again, but does it for like cat eyes, except, or, you know, slitted eyes.
And one of them does have unique eyes. Bullshit.
Gotcha.
Because you want tea.
If I might interject something, you shouldn't go throwing around like accusations like that. Toxra has been very helpful. She stopped the leakage in the boat and...
This, just a reminder too, this was sign language to Miriam.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that.
And unless anyone knows the giant alphabet,
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
No, sorry.
You know Giant?
Yeah. Yes. Very
It
well.
doesn't, but you don't know giant sign language.
I do not.
All right, Miriam is my. Jeez. It's gonna stop with the sign language. Get up. I apologize for my little sister. She likes to play pranks. And he grabs you by the shoulder. This is Lily.
She told us her name was Miriam. So you're
That
not.
is my name.
And I'm the one who's suspicious.
You don't know that.
No,
So
she,
you
she,
would-
No, that was all silent. Oh yeah, previously on the other island they did talk
Yeah.
about that.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he does know that.
You would be our other brother.
What?
Well, we're all brothers and sisters, it seems.
What?
You sweet thing, we got a lot of catching up to do.
He just, if you could see, like, if Gray could go paler, it's like, what the fuck?
Mary, oh sorry, not Mary, Lily is now like, it looks like she's laughing as hard as she can, but because she can't make any like vocal noises so much, it's like a wheezy kind of like snicker, like hearty laugh kind of thing.
Okay, so what you're telling me is he's a bastard.
Hmm,
Well,
maybe.
we would all be the bastards given the situation.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is the bastard.
The hoe.
I don't.
Well, let's not go around throwing labels at people unnecessarily until we. I mean, he might be an asshole, but. Right. Well, I suppose that's what you. Hi.
I'll walk up towards you guys. I apologize for a comment I made not in your presence when she said your name was Lily. Especially when some others here asked what kind of male name is Lily, and I insinuated a male stripper.
Lily's just laughing harder.
Tulsha, this is Miriam. Miriam Tulsha. I'm Shale. And
Burn.
And puking on the beach is Kurt.
Right.
sounds just like
Well, it is. You see him calm down a bit. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
pleasure.
And you as well.
I'm sure we all have a million questions. I mean, I really just got 1, 2. Have you been here long?
How long ago did I get here, Jero?
To
I was
how
able to
long?
sleep, so
Yeah, I'd say like 5 or 6 hours ago. Like you were woken up from your rest. To be fair, nobody's long rested today. It's
gotcha.
been a long day.
I was asleep. Your ship woke me up, but I've only been here a few hours.
And the second question, you haven't seen our father around here, have you?
You're the first people I've seen since getting here.
Well,
But wait a minute. Didn't Lucy? No, I mean Lily. And I turned to the actual Lily. Didn't you say you were actual brother and sister?
Lily nods.
But
You have a problem with that?
no, why would I have a problem? We're all brothers and sisters, it seems. I'm just curious. I mean, I thought you'd also be like her.
maybe the mother is a Goliath of the Draconic bloodline?
I suppose. I mean, I don't mean to impose or anything. Just
That is Lily's story to tell.
okay. Well, well, you don't have to tell us that now, Lily, if you don't want to. So Miriam, is it right? Have you like secured the area then? Should we be on the lookout for anything around here?
I only had enough time to do a glance and secure where I was sleeping.
Another question. Have you been able to find a father's establishment?
He just looks around the ruined village. He's like, I can't tell you who owned what here.
I mean, there are typically signs of, I would assume.
He points to the place where a signpost was, and splinters are on the floor.
I mean, even that is enough to start with. Can I go over and bend the sign?
You're gonna have to play Jigsaw first. You can only fix a 1 foot by 1 foot area at a time. So you can roll me an investigation to start jigsawing it back together. This is like going through shredded pieces of paper and trying to remake them into letters that they were.
Hey, if the FBI can do it, I can do it.
Roll your investigation.
That's a statement and a half, sir.
Yeah.
The D4.
Well, I mean, some warlocks can listen to your thoughts, so I mean, accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13.
You'll be here a while.
Right. Well, let's give it some time before we start with repairing the city, as it were. I mean, I'd certainly appreciate a few more hours of some actual rest. I mean, it's still early. If any of you wouldn't mind, at least. Or we can keep going, I suppose. Sun should be up soon.
Yeah. Very soon. Alrighty. So what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna set up a camp and go to sleep? Or are you gonna just start looking? Or what? You guys tell me. It's your story. Have fun.
I kind of put it in there. I'm wandering around at this point, multi-purpose, taking Dorothy, stretching her legs out, finally back on solid land. I'm looking for any traces of any recent tracks or different movement patterns that might have gone through here other than from our friend.
Alright, roll me a survival check.
Lily, while that is happening, is updating Marion on like what we discovered earlier, such as the like letters are magical, the different identities, and handwriting is the same, but that sort of thing, and how the one that he received, and I think it was Shale, was it from a year ago? And then the one that Bernie, Kurt, and names Tulsha, it was recent.
Nobody has seen Tolsha.
Oh, yeah. She also mentions that, and this is all updated in giant sign language because it's faster than writing it down.
Absolutely. The first version of sign language in Exandria, giant sign language. Makes sense.
It's full of
Bernie
big movements.
Bernie starts walking into sort of the rubbled area a little bit and looking at where Miriam set up his camp and trying to look for any other places that would be better suited, but looks well enough, I suppose.
Well, if you would like, you could roll me a survival check as well.
Right.
So, Shale, you're looking around the area trying to find if anything piques your interest.
Well, I said specifically for, looking any movement patterns other than from our new friend.
Right. I mean, there's some aged footprints and markings around the area. The largest footprint you can easily discern belongs to Miriam. Miriam is very large. I mean, you have like shack feet, so just very notable. However, you pick up on a second set of footprints here that look only a few days old. Like the wind has not completely ruined them from being seen inside of the sandy terrain and area that is all-encompassing. And it seems to be leading further inside.
Into the town or back
Yes,
into
the
town? Catching those, I'll eventually, make my way. I'm kind of going to do a full, like I said, I'm staying within eyesight of everybody, but just walking around. And after I complete that, I'll make my way back. Well, it looks like other than our friend here, there might have been somebody wandered off yonder that way.
Well, at least we're not the only one here.
Might have been father, might have been, maybe there's more of us.
I mean, if it was only a recent devastation, there is a chance that there are still survivors looking around or coming back in an attempt to reclaim what was lost.
This is pretty bad.
You do have the tracks if you wish to continue following them, Shale.
Yeah, I've communicated the information. Gonna keep making my way.
Alright. The tracks seem to go over to this stone pillar that seems to have like snapped off at some point where a statue or something might have been on top of it, and then goes over to this tree, and then towards the rubble of this building. And then you lose the track, as following something through rubble is not very easy when it's been gone for several days.
I just, from over there, put my hand up and wave back to Tulsha, the others, and look around. Dorothy, you better go get something to eat. See if you can't find something real good down by the beach.
I'll head over to her.
Okay. Dorothy will very happily go charging off over towards Tolsha. You approach, and now that two of you are here, you see that there is a very large, wide building, appearing to be like an inn, or a tavern here inside of this town that is completely left in ruin. You see the tops of a bar that would have been here, the ruined bottles of different liquors and ruined kegs of different ales that would have been here as well. You see a couple of rudimentary supplies, but mostly anything valuable has been picked through very clearly, at least on a cursory glance. Now, we also have Bernie over here, so the three of you are there.
Well, this appears to have been a bar at some point.
Whoever our recent friend was made their way here, if not further past, but if we're seeking more people, we might be able to follow it, or we could wait here and maybe spend some time, some days. Maybe he'll show.
Can I look for a sign that might have designated what this bar was?
Roll me an investigation.
Guidance.
Yep.
I want to have a look around and try and see if I can find any interesting details as well.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation. So, Tolsha will be on the outside. Bernie is now moving into the rubble to look around.
Yep.
Now, on the outside, Tolsha, you find 3 sections of a sign. Like one of those hanging billboard signs that the front of buildings would have that would swing while attached to chains to, really coax people to come towards here.
Hmm?
The interesting thing is the 3 sections of this sign, it looks like they were deliberately brought over back to this location. And when you move them closer and look at them, there appears to be a name. The Riptide Tavern. Now, Bernie, as you started moving through here, you pick up that this area has been picked through probably by multiple people since the catastrophe that took place. However, not everything of use or value has been cleaned up. Only the things that a scavenger would be able to look. You know that places like this usually like to hide their nicety, some way or another. And you go over to where one of the benches that is still almost fully formed is. And you notice that the bench itself is heavier than a, typical bench would be, and it was designed to have a hollow inside, which is not typical for many benches. That takes a lot more wood to make instead of, platform, legs, holder, done. When you lift up the cushion that was on this bench, you see on the inside that there is a chest that has a lock on it that looks mechanical in nature.
Would you look at that? Everyone, I think I found something noteworthy here. I try and lift up the chest.
It's pretty hefty, but you can one-hand it while dragging and then hold it.
Yeah, I'll just drag it over to where the others are.
I would like to mend the sign and bring it over here.
Well, while he was doing that, no problem at all. Now, you all see the sign that says the Riptide Tavern.
I believe this is where we were supposed to meet, because it looks like these pieces were brought back here by someone.
Well, that's interesting. Do any of you have any I mean, any experience with opening locks that aren't yours?
Just this, and she holds up the hand axe.
Right. Well, I mean, well, it feels a little bit. Doesn't feel right. I mean, scavenging. That's not really what we're doing, is it?
I believe I saw Lily pull out lockpicks earlier.
Right. Well, I guess I'll ask her then, and I'll just drag the chest along with me. Excuse me over there, Lily, or Lucy? No, it's Lily, right? Right.
She nods.
Would you happen to know how to open this chest?
Now, Lily, before you answer that in typical fashion, this looks like a mechanical lock with dials on it. There's 6 total dials going across the area that you have to like slide and adjust. A normal individual with thieves' tools would not be capable of opening this lock at all. But luckily, you're somebody who understands mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lily, and she, like, as she sees the chest, she's about to pull out the thieves' tools, then she recognizes the mechanism, and then stops, kind of, does that whole, like, about to compete, like, stretching, cracking her neck kind of thing. And she will first check for traps, and then she will attempt to open the mechanism.
All right, roll me an investigate. Oh, I'll roll an investigation. After the character sheet loads.
Do you need any assistance? If not, I'll just go back and get that bench. I think it seems like a perfectly good bench.
Lily, yeah, she's too busy with that, so she kind of one hand signs to Marion to translate, like, keep an eye out or ear open. So basically, like, listen and watch in case there's something she misses.
So, a swelling of excitement inside of you looking at a mechanical lock. I mean, this is something that almost nobody would be able to, like, figure out if they didn't understand tinkering in some capability. So that excitement makes your investigation for traps a little quick for a look over, and you don't find any. You rolled a 9.
Makes sense. Seems legit.
So now you're going to attempt to open it.
Because it's completely safe.
Yep. So, to open this, you actually need to make a Tinkerer's check utilizing intelligence, which you can easily do. Oof. Yeah, me rolling for you is not helping very much. 10. You look at the back piece of this mechanism, and it seems to be, like, welded shut. Like, whoever designed this wanted to make sure it would not easily be opened, and unfortunately, you don't have any of your very fancy tools that you have access to at the Lyceum to really figure it out. I mean, you're going to have to move the 6 dials, which look to be different poses of lines, in order to figure out what the combination would be. And that's just, there's only 6 dials, there's only 4 choices for each of them, which I think is like, what, 4 times 6? Something like 960. Well, I think it's like 960 possibilities. Oh, wait, no, it's a lot more than that. It's 4 by 6, not 6 by 4. thousands of possibilities.
Lily, after like realizing that, is going to think for a moment and then refer to the letters because there might be some sort of clue in there for the mechanism combination.
Okay. I will open up the 3 letters on my screen, but all of you have access to those 3 letters, so feel free to open them as well. Unfortunately, if you cannot look at anything right now, I don't know how you're going to see the letters.
Yeah, well, I was hoping someone else would be able to, quote unquote, like look at it, and Lily would assist with any sort of investigation that we as players can't see.
Fair enough. So, you open up 3 letters that you all have access to: Miriam's, Kurt and Bernie's, and Shale.
Yeah, I'll bring them over because I was one holding them.
Okay. Go ahead, and who would like to do the investigation with assistance from Lily?
I can do it.
Alrighty, Bernie, go for it.
Okay.
The first thing you notice, looking at the other 2 letters, is the signed name. Luke's 4th Riptide. Luke's 4th Riptide. Luke's 4th Riptide. Look for Riptide. Was literally written on their letters. So you know you were supposed to look for that location. The Riptide Tavern. Unless you believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in hindsight, this seems a bit obvious, but we're supposed to look for Riptide. And, well, Tulsa fixed that sign over there. It says the Riptide Tavern, so perhaps if we... what?
Anything on the sign? Marking
An
wise.
investigation.
Guidance.
$14. Also, everybody, enable 3D dice, please. Thing. So... you don't really find anything on the back of the sign itself. The sign being placed here seems to have been the only deliberate clue as to what you were looking for. Now, Bernie, with your previous investigation at the 3 letters, the other 2 letters, Marion's letter is almost as old as yours, roughly time scaling wise. But Shale's letter is brand new. And although your letter is the most different, it hasn't been useful yet. And yours is the oldest one out of all. The one sent for your brother and you is the oldest one.
Right. This is a bit... well, I'm not sure exactly how it would help us, but I think it might have to do something with the order in which we received our letters. Maybe there are more clues in it that we haven't missed. I think, well, looking at the ones we've got, it seems like Kurt and mine's letter is the oldest one. Shale, your letter is quite new, isn't it?
I mean, I got it about a week ago.
Right.
Jero.
Yeah.
With the idea of the dates being a key, Lily would like to check to see like what are the dates for each of the letters, and then the differences. Like she'll try out like the combination, like kind of piecing together with like what fits and what doesn't in that sort of statement or sort of like thing.
So, I'll roll another investigation for you.
Guidance.
Roll a d4, please, then. $28 at level 2. Ain't that fun, y'all? So, looking at the dates, none of the dates that these letters are actually marked on, and mind you, they didn't just like mark dates on the letter when like, hey, this is when I'm sending it to you, by the way. It's just them roughly knowing the days that they received it and the dates around that. None of the dates seem to have coincided with any of the available numbers in the 6 slots. The 6 slots have exactly 6 numbers on any rotation that you do with them. So these are the 4 numbers that can show in any of the 6 slots. 1, 0, 5, and 6. And as you're going through that rotation for the 6 of them, you stop for a moment and look at look at the brothers, the twins letter. It's signed M.X. M.X. You remember being in the archives where some of the filing was based off letters, and when you inquired about that from your mom, she informs you that that is because back during Olden era, they used to utilize letters instead of numbers. It is the giant lettering system, equivalent to our Roman numeral system. And you remember, since you are proficient in that, that M equals 1,000.
MC squared. Oh.
X equals 10. Which means the combination, if you add the 2 of them together, should be 100010.